Clownie Nerf.
Hey guys, it's your Uncle Clownie coming to you with another video, and this time it's on something I saw and I was kind of giving up on a little bit. I wasn't completely sure, so I did a little thinking and looking at it, but I definitely was determined that I wanted one, and it turns out they were only 20 bucks. It's the Worker Hurricane 6-shot pistol. Worker's first offering in a complete pistol design, complete blaster design, not just a shell or motors or parts. It's entirely Worker from head to toe, tip to tail, stem to stern. This is Worker's blaster offering up to us, and I think they really did a good job pretty much knocking this thing out of the park on the first round. The blaster itself is exceedingly comfortable. It is just nice. Although the plastic is nice and like I'd say it's really a bit better than Nerf-like. I really do like the plastic feel to it. It just feels well balanced in your hand, although it is chunky and blocky, and I do think there may be a small problem trying to find some sort of holster for it, but I don't think this will take us long to find a holster that's going to accommodate this thing, and I'm pretty sure somebody is already 3D printing parts for this. The blaster itself runs on the cursed LiPo batteries that everybody likes to scream and yell about, but it includes the little tray here, and you just slide them right in, and this is all wired in with some very nice, feels like silicone wire. It's very jelly and feels well. I mean, a lot better than the stuff that I've ever picked up, I'll give it that much. And this is, like I said, AA style battery, so you can run it on, your choice of do your research first, please, of battery power to run this thing. It would be mentioning that you should probably check out things like, I think Bobo did a good one. Luke from Out of Darts, I believe, also did a good one on the video for helping describe the differences in blaster batteries that they're used and why they have problems and what the different issues are that could be going with them. The magazine, I'm just going to say it's a flat-out rip-off. It's a rip-off. They ripped off Ruger 1022s or any of the Ruger 22 fast mags. That's exactly what this thing is. It is a small brick rotary magazine that takes 6 shots. It uses an ingenious way of keeping these things in. It's just a simple piece of engineering to keep them from rolling back. All they did was put a little plastic tab right under here. So when this thing goes in, I pull to one of these, it just stays. And then when it goes out, it'll pull over to the next empty chamber. So even if you miss a chamber, you don't have to worry because it'll skip right over, which is, I think it's great. It's great. I mean, it's a very simple piece of engineering. It is a little weird to load. I don't remember if these are sold separately yet. I didn't see them because I was in a hurry to get those, so I just kind of grabbed them up. I haven't had any problems with this magazine falling out. I mean, it doesn't exactly stick very hard, but it's not like I've had it flop out on me or do anything stupid while I was running around playing with it. I would like to have seen like a slightly less of barrel like this, but we'll get into the problems I have with this thing after we get into the internals of this, because there isn't, oddly enough to say about the outside, because it is a very plain blaster with basically a brick-shaped magazine, an orange trigger, and some Gundam panel lines on the outside of it. So let's get into the internal quick here, and then we'll show you that, and then we'll get into some of my critiques about this blaster. As you can see, I have the blaster opened up, and it's really just quite a simple mechanism. A lot of really neat little things kind of happen here that kind of impress me. First off, it is to note that there is one shorter screw, only slightly shorter, and it goes back here in the crook of the grip of the hand for this blaster. As you guys can see, that the flywheel cage on this thing is definitely proprietary. It is smaller than most flywheel cages and smaller wheels, but they have serrated wheels and stuff available. It's supposed to be 130 motors under here. I am not pulling this apart because this one belongs to my buddy Josh, who hopefully won't have a fit when he sees me that I opened up his blaster on him because It's awfully nice because I shipped it to my house and mine is in a different stage of repair. This I would like to see a slightly longer version of. This is a nice little barrel guide. I haven't had any issues though with it shooting just kind of accuracy. And over here we get to the kind of stuff I think is neat. I mean, like this, I've had experience getting these to get back in place. Kind of a pain because the hole for it is on the opposite side, so you have to kind of fuggly it in there, or whatever the word is. The wiring is good and tight. They make well use of space, but that means they're not going to have a lot of extra space to tuck in wires, which is something else that I have to talk about then later as well. The switch is interesting to me because they have it on the out position as the rev. So when you hit the blaster to rev, the switch goes in the up, the normally open, I guess it would be for us, because it does the unclick instead of click down. It is a nice clicky though, but it is a small switch, and then it just levers over, and that's what shoves the back of the dart forward this way. It's not much to say. I mean, it is a basic, tiny, small system that is just simply compact, undone very well, and the connector points in these can unsoldered and lipo up, but as you can see, there's really not much to this thing as far as blasters go. The wheels have a slight concavity. You can up your motors and things, but I'm impressed and underwhelmed at the same time with the simplicity of the whole system, because I really want to talk about stuff about this, but I'm finding myself getting it difficult to say anything because there's not anything really of note to it. You have a basic flywheel setup that's been miniaturized with a reverse switch, an on-off switch, a weird proprietary magazine, and what appears to be a Maverick trigger missing one of the parts. I mean, there's not a whole lot that can be said. I actually have more critiques on this than anything, which is what we're going to get into next. So hang tight, I'll get this buttoned up, and I can show you where I think this thing might fall short. Okay, as you can see, I have the blaster reassembled, and like I said, I do have some smaller complaints, most of which aren't big, just basic stuff, because I am really kind of 50-50 on my complaints and my opinion on my own. First is basically the blaster is pretty plain, but that also cuts down on production costs and things, and allow this thing to be $20 when we've had shells from blasters from Worker in the past that have cost, well, actually more than I believe they ever really should have. Secondly, it comes to with this power system. I know they don't think ahead of like we do and things like that, and I love the fact that it uses 130 motors because we have a bunch of options for those in a small package, but there isn't much room in the handle to get a LiPo battery. I severely doubt we're going to find some decent 3S LiPos. I happen to be running a 2S LiPo that just barely fits without the base of it. It's by a company called Avis, and it's a 1200 milliamp hour 2-cell 2S 7.4 volt LiPo battery. It's the one I used in my End War blaster that was underpowering the Rhinos or the whatever I had in there. I don't remember at this time, and it runs in here actually rather well. The other complaint I kind of have is I wish this had a small way to get a hold of it, because this is really kind of slick, and a knurled knob on here would have been good. My original plan was to take and put a NOS bottle and on the back of it, well enough the plastic bottle so you could literally just have it and grab to index, but unfortunately when you drop this in, there is no more room for clearance, so I would like to see something about that. What I would like to see from people in this community for this blaster is first, obviously, and I believe it's already in the works, is that somebody is going to print an extended battery door for this thing that's going to leak in there, so we can actually have proper 3S lipos and proper 2S lipos in a very cramped space in here. A muzzle adapter for the front of it would be nice to help get rid of some of this brick blocky ability, and maybe a piece here. I would also very much like to see a 3D printed battery cage, a 3D printed motor cage on the side here. I realize that you can tuck in 130s, but I guarantee you that that's not going to be enough. If we can get a 3S lipo in here of decent size with a longer handle, we can definitely get a pair of 180s in here, and that would be insane with this thing in here to have a pair of 180s and just cranking on the darts. I mean, mine is right now running on a 2S lipo with the stock motors in there, and it's, well, it's just nice. Little half pull just fires that thing up, and it is just whizzing darts like no man's business. I love this little blaster. I really do think that this thing is going to be a game changer, and I think Nerf just got notice. This is officially putting Hasbro on notice as of, well, whenever this thing just got released, because now they're in trouble. This is something, you know, if Worker keeps making things like this, Hasbro's screwed. Flat out. Hasbro is screwed, because this little thing is going to pop up everywhere. Because I need to get more magazines for this, and I'm going to be taking it to a war this weekend, and I can't wait to go and just have at a bunch of people with this thing. It is going to be phenomenal. But if you guys have any opinions on this or something you'd like to know or discuss about this, let me know in the comments section below. I would really like to see. And while you're there, click on the link to get yourself a nice Clownie patch from Contaniment Crew, because me and Contaniment Crew got the thumbs up and got going together on that. And the typical like, subscribe, ring the bell to get all the information and stuff, so when I post things up or go live periodically, you know when your Uncle Clownie's live on the internet. Until next time, guys, remember, Uncle Clownie's watching. Peace.